Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod. I hope you're having a great week so far. Today I'm going to give my first reactions to this cast for the Challenge USA Season 2. So I'm going to start off with just my first impression of this entire cast, but then we have 24 names to go over. I'll do that alphabetically. My gut feedback looking at this list is that there are way too many people on this list that are from the challenge. So while the show has the opportunity to be an all-stars cast between Survivor, Big Brother, and The Amazing Race, which personally I'd like to see less of, it really leaves me feeling disappointed, wondering who we could have had on this list if it wasn't a combination of also challenge all-stars in the cast. The first person on the list is Alyssa Lopez from Big Brother 23 and the Challenge USA. I remember her being someone that you really could root for on Big Brother, but ultimately she didn't have the biggest impact on her season of Big Brother, mostly just getting spared by the Cookout Alliance for a really long time. On the first season of the Challenge USA, it was interesting to see her relationship with her previous castmates. It seems like there was a little bit of resentment there that never got resolved even in the first season, so I welcome her back. I think that there's something that she can add. I don't think that she could win this season of the challenge. The next person on the list is Alyssa Snyder from Big Brother 24. Do I love having two people on a cast that have the same first name? No. Especially just imagine the casting producers really feeling like they needed both of these people enough to confuse the people watching. Like, okay. But she was kind of fine on Big Brother. It's really hard to look past her choice in dating partner, but judging her as an individual, she seemed to really want to play the game of Big Brother, even though a lot of the time the game was playing her. But overall, she strikes me as someone that wants to be on reality television and wants to be entertaining. When there was alcohol provided on Big Brother, she would have a little bit of it and be a pretty good time. And she's not afraid to let loose and have a little bit of fun and hook up on TV, which I think the challenge always really needs people to be willing to do that. Somebody's got to get the job done. And with the casting pool where a lot of people are married or focusing on their professional life, to have someone that's not afraid to get wasted and have a little bit of fun is a welcome member of the cast. Next on my list, I have Amanda Garcia from The Challenge and from Are You the One? I always enjoy Amanda on The Challenge. I have a vendetta against the Challenge people being on this cast, and it's an interesting choice for them to include her because I don't think she's too serious of a competitor, but overall she really brings the spicy drama and she's not afraid to make good TV, so I feel like that's why she's on the list. Moving on to one of the more controversial picks for me, Ameerah from Big Brother 24. I don't know how Ameerah made it onto this list. She didn't seem to make a too positive impression on me from when I was watching Big Brother 24. Coming into that show, she had all the makings of someone that I wanted to root for, but overall I was left feeling really disappointed in the way that she and the other women in the house were treating Taylor. I get it, it's been a year, I'm still not over this. I'm always willing to let things go and put things in the past if someone can impress me, but I also feel like if we're gonna give a female from Big Brother 24 another chance, I would even say Where's Indy or even Jasmine is super entertaining and could have been added to this list. Next up, I have Cassidy from Survivor 43, who is a god tier queen for me, so I'm obviously rooting for her. I'm not sure how well she'll do on the challenge, given the amount of physical ability that's needed in some of these challenges. My impression of her is that she's a smaller person, but maybe that's just because she's small on my TV. But that doesn't mean that she's not mighty. So overall, I'm really curious how she'll do on the challenge. Obviously, I feel like she was robbed from her season of Survivor, and she's pretty decent at challenges, so I definitely would be surprised if she went home early in the competition. Next up is Chanel from Survivor 42. I actually think Chanel would be better for the challenge than she would be for Survivor because she is really strong, and I feel like on the challenge, typically strength is rewarded, where people will want to keep you around to be your partner in a final. And I just think on Survivor, her threat level was really high and it was too hard for her to manage. It ended up ostracizing her around the midpoint of the game, so we weren't really able to see what she's capable of, and I'm super excited to see what she's going to be able to do here. Chris Underwood being included in this is really awesome for me. He has a similar story to Michelle coming into her Winners at War season, where he won the game, but people really don't have the respect for him just because of the way that he won. I think this is definitely going to be the storyline. Anytime he would have come back to any show, that would have been his storyline. He really does have something to prove, and he actually is a really good competitor. So he's definitely a winner pick for the guys bracket, in my opinion. Plus, we barely know anything about him, so this is finally an opportunity to learn something about him other than the fact that he can fish on Extinction Island. Corey from the Challenge MTV is on this cast, which I've seen enough of Corey to know Corey. I don't really need any more. I don't want any more. I already know what I'm going to get. If I wanted to see Corey, I can go back and there's 10 to 15 seasons that I can watch to get the Corey experience. Don't need him on the list. We have Desi from The Survivor and The Challenge, who seems to me like someone who keeps coming back to these shows and never really gets the chance to shine. And to me, what I'm looking for is for the editors of these shows actually to wake up and decide to tell me her story, because it's clear they've been very committed to not telling us her point of view. And I feel like if you're going to have someone on these shows, how about you tell their interesting life story and give us what we want, which is to get these people back from these CBS shows that we really want to learn more about. Give us more So overall, I'm really rooting for her. I want her to find her moment. I think she has what it takes to be a winner contender. But like I said, because of the editing, I don't know enough about her to really say for sure. Next up, we have Dusty from The Amazing Race. I'll be honest, I watch every season of The Amazing Race, and there's a lot of people that I recognize and that are super memorable to me. I have no idea who this man is. I looked up the Wikipedia, I looked up videos, and I do not remember this person being on that program. So overall, he seems like he's pretty in good shape. He's 39 years old. He'll probably make it super far in the show. But to me, based on the season 1 cast going to the season 2 cast, The Amazing Race people, it's like they get to the end of the cast list and they realize, oh crap, we need to put some Amazing Race people on this cast. And at this point, it's like, don't include The Amazing Race in the cast list if you're not committed to giving us the best people from The Amazing Race coming through to this TV show. So anyways, I don't have much to say about Dusty. That's a pretty cool name. It kind of reminds me of some of my mantles, which reminds me I need to go to the store and buy Pledge. So anyways, on to Fessy, who seems to be a pretty polarizing figure. I personally enjoy that Fessy shows up to these shows and isn't afraid to be a reality TV person. He's known for being messy, which does get under a lot of viewers' skin, but if I'm making a reality TV cast, I need people like that, like I said earlier. And he's a pretty good competitor and a fairly recent addition to the overall cast. So if we're going to have people from the main challenge series on this show, I would prefer people that actually have been on Big Brother or Survivor or The Amazing Race. So overall, I can't really see him not making a final on this season. So for me, he's one of those people that if they can just not get hurt, they probably have a good chance of making it to the final. We do get Johnny Bananas on this cast, which for me, this is pretty random. Overall, it feels to me like the producers don't trust the CBS cast to put together a narrative if he's not there, because Bananas is a great narrator for the show. So I'm not expecting him to get very far into this season, given that there are some really strong people on this cast from the CBS shows that have never won the challenge, like Bessie, like Polly. People who I can see having a vendetta about just getting these challenged people out, which I support. So overall, I see why he's there, but I don't think he's going to win the show. Next, we have Janae, who I feel like falls in the same vein as Bananas, who she's a really great confessionalist and they need her to drive the narrative. But overall, I don't know if this is her season 2 win again. And I feel like she's probably only showing up to keep in good relations with the challenge casting team. Like, if I'm Janae right now, I'm saying yes to everything because I want to keep being asked to be on. So we have Josh. Josh, to me, overall, is a pretty negative figure across all of these shows between Big Brother and The Challenge. Someone who's not afraid of the drama, but a lot of the time, when he gets involved with the drama, it's just a huge headache. He's prone to cause a big stink and a big stir. Overall, I don't think he ever gets the desired outcome of what he's looking for in his confrontations. And I don't think we're ever going to see a mellowed out version of Josh. I guess some sort of positive is that Amanda is also on this cast and they have a bit of a history. Something that could be entertaining, but I watch a lot of shows. I can get my entertainment elsewhere. Next, we have Luis from The Amazing Race. This is a little bit less of a who is this than the other Amazing Race guy. I kind of remember him, which I guess is better. He seems like a pretty athletic guy. I don't have too much to say. Really, anyone that's going to come on here and give these challenge competitors a run for their money, I fully support. And I can't blame the Amazing Race people because there isn't a lot of character development that happens on that show. So who cares? He's here. Great. We have Michaela from Survivor and The Challenge. Overall with Michaela, I remember on her seasons of Survivor, she was really good, especially at team challenges. There were so many times that her tribe was immune because of her sole contribution to the challenges. And she's really barely had the chance to show what she's capable of on the challenge. I'd like to see her continue to come back until she finally has an opportunity. I also feel like on her previous seasons of the challenge, she kind of got shafted with the editing, but she also wasn't around enough to really do much substantial. So this time, I think she actually could win. If she makes it to the end, I think she could win a final. But my biggest hope is that we can learn a little bit more about her and see her actually in some fun social settings. Now, don't get me started on Michelle Fitzgerald. My queen Winchell, someone who I'm glad keeps getting asked to be on these shows, someone who I'm glad keeps saying yes to these shows. She's proven herself to be super capable of winning challenges on Survivor. As far as the challenge is concerned, I don't think she's really thrived in this environment just yet. She seems to make it kind of like halfway through the beginning point, maybe to the middle of the game. And then eventually her luck just kind of runs out. So I'm hoping she can make more of a lasting impact on the challenge. She's somebody that I'd really like to see be more of a challenge staple moving forward. But unfortunately, I think if they give her enough chances and she's not really proving herself, she may not be long fit for the casting process. So overall, I'm really going to be pulling for her to win this entire season. We have Monty from Big Brother 24. He's here. He's one of those people that on Big Brother just really did rub a lot of the people who are watching the show the wrong way, especially people who are watching the live feeds. Yes, he was in the Leftovers Alliance, which really was his saving grace that made him really likable for a large portion of the season. There were times in the beginning of the season especially, and at the very end with Taylor, that he was pushing it. He was pushing my buttons, and now he's back to push my buttons again. But I get it. We want to have people from later seasons of Big Brother, especially Big Brother 24. That was a really good season. But based on the fact that he's on, I'm guessing that Joseph and Michael both said no. So we get Pauly, someone who's very similar to Fessy, in my opinion, based on where they're at in the structure of the grand scheme of things. Another polarizing character, not always on the right side of an argument. It depends on my mood when I'm rewatching some of the seasons in the mid-30s of the challenge of whether I agree with him or disagree with him. So I guess it'll depend on my mood watching this, how I feel about him. Overall, I think that he gives some of these challenge people a good run for their money. So whatever, he's here. We have Sebastian from Survivor. I feel like he's one of these people that wanted to be on reality TV, not specifically wanted to be on Survivor. I could see him being really rowdy in a cast like this and being a pretty good competitor, so I'm really excited to see what he has to do here. Especially because he really did seem like a good competitor on his season, even though he did end up being kind of a background figure for the middle to the late end of the game. Then we have Tiffany from Big Brother 23 and the first season of the Challenge USA. Personally, I think that she's really great TV. I love seeing her on any of these casts. Obviously, she solidified her legacy on her season of Big Brother of being a master strategist. Overall, I'd like to see her on Big Brother again. I don't know if she's the best challenge competitor of all time. I also don't really know if she could win the challenge, but it's nice to see her on TV. She brings it every single time. She's really generous to the fans in what she's giving. So I'm definitely excited that she's on the list. We have Tori, who seems like another person who kind of says yes to every single call that she gets from the challenge. I know she's a really controversial figure. There's a lot of people who I talk to who say that they're tired of her and that they don't like her. And personally, I don't see where they're coming from. I really like her. I still wish there were no challenge people on this cast, but I guess if you're doing this and you need somebody, she is a pretty big figure for the females in the challenge right now. And she's one of those challenger people who does have some decent connections with people from the CBS cast. Most notably, she has history with Fessy, which could bring some drama to the season. Is it drama that I need? Is it drama that I would pay for? Probably not, but it's a reality show on a streaming service, so I'll take what I can get. We have Tyler from Big Brother. I'll be honest, I do not like this person. I think he was insufferable on his first season of Big Brother, on his second season of Big Brother on All Stars. He was making a lot of promises that he didn't end up keeping. He was saying that he was going to quit. I was so happy. Then he ended up not quitting and it was just a big performance. I just remember overall being really unhappy with him at the time. And it's lingering. And we saw in the trailer that he's going to get drunk and he's going to hook up with Alyssa Snyder, which for me, it's just such a headache. And I just think that he runs such a high risk of ruining any season of a reality show that he's on. That makes me just wish that he wasn't on any cast. And finally, we have Wes on the list, who, if we're going to have people from the challenge, Wes is one of the people who consistently roots for the underdog. He takes rookies under his wing. I could totally see him ganging together with some rookie CBS players and really making this a little bit more interesting. Although lately he's been on good terms with Johnny Bananas, and so maybe they'll just steamroll the game, although I really think that's unlikely to happen. Overall, he's here, and there are some really worse alternatives as far as the challenge males go, so he's welcome for me. So that's my reaction to the Challenge USA 2 cast. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like my videos. The show's coming out in August on Paramount Plus. I'm going to be covering it. I do reality TV recaps every Sunday on Apple and Spotify. I release them on YouTube as well. I also do one-off videos like this every week on my YouTube channel. I'll be posting on Sunday with a recap of everything I'm going over this week. Until then, see ya.